Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the German foreign minister, the infantile Annalena Baerbock's little big secret is revealed. Her grandfather, that she has no idea, was a highly decorated Nazi during Adolf's reign, and he was awarded a very important um, medal during the war as a recognition for his bravery. So Annalena Baerbock could be always blackmailed by that fact, and I think she is. She claims she never knew. Like you don't know your father or grandfather was involved in that specific political party and followed a certain kind of ideology. Do you think so? I think she knew. But hey, if she said she doesn't, well, let's see. We have here two articles. First, this is what drew my attention. An article from Russia Today, today the 15th of February 2024. German foreign minister hostile to Germany, Putin says. There she is, Annalena. She's an infantile, that's what she is. By her actions and especially statements. The Russian leader accused Annalena Baerbock of disregarding the economic interests of her own people. Now, in the name of Nazism from Ukraine? Is that what it is? Is that what you're trying to prove, Mr. Putin? The German foreign minister is showing hostility not only to Russia but also to her own country by pursuing harmful economic policies. Well, she's foreign minister, okay. Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed during an interview with Russia One TV correspondent Pavel Zarubin on Wednesday, Putin was asked to comment on reports in the German media last week, claiming that Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock's grandfather used to be an, and I'm quoting, unconditional supporter of Adolf Hitler, who was awarded with one of the highest Nazi honors, the War Merit Cross with Swords, for his service in Germany's military during World War II. Ram pam pam. War Merit Cross. Here it is. Got it? So we have different kinds. This is, I think, the second class. Yes, it's second class. Probably that's the first class. So we have this one, the Kriegsverdienstkreuz. Was a state decorated of Nazi Germany during the World War II. By the end of the conflict, it was issued in 4 degrees and had an equivalent civil award. A denazified version of the War Merit Cross was reissued 1957 by the Bundeswehr for its veterans. So this is the neck order with the swords, and it says this is second class from 1939 to 1945. So this is what he's got. Related War Merit, next higher Iron Cross. Oh, so it's not even. So higher is Iron Cross is bigger than War Medal, related to this one. Okay, let's go back to the article. Now that we know what's going, and you didn't know, huh? Okay, and I'm quoting Putin. I don't think the modern generations of Germans should bear the full political responsibility for everything that Nazi Germany did. I think they should not bear any unless they did something. One must proceed from today's realities, look at what someone is actually doing and what policies are being pursued. I don't think you should be guilty of your father's deeds, good or bad. So same here. Annalena Baerbock, if her grandfather was a whatever, she shouldn't be attacked at all. I mean, it's like you have a criminal grandfather. So I'm not saying this is the case here. The guy who served in the military was a supporter of that movement, whatever. Does it make her any bit responsible for that? Of course not. Of course not. Putin noted that Baerbock is a member of the Green Party. Listen to this imbecility. and accused those promoting an environmental agenda in European politics as speculating, end quote, of the public's fears of climate change. I agree with that they themselves ignite while also pursuing their own political line, which is a far cry from the ideas with they came to power. And I'm quoting, this is what's happening in Germany now. For example, coal generation has increased. It was already larger than in Russia, and now it has increased even further. Well, that's the green agenda here? He asked. Let's see what else we have here. They talk about, right here, Baerbock and people like her, and I'm quoting, are hostile towards our country, towards Russia, but I think she's also hostile towards her own country because it's difficult to imagine that a politician of such rank would treat the economic interests of her country, her people, with such disdain. I totally agree with that. All right, let's go to the next article, and this is from Russia Today. German foreign minister's grandfather was an ardent Nazi. Bild. Annalena Baerbock's office said she had no idea that her ancestor was a committed follower of Adolf. Can you believe that? I personally believe that less than 1%, okay? I mean, she is a foreign minister. Don't you think that she has all the information needed? As a foreign minister, that means you're interested in politics. You're interested in something outside of just your little schemers. So she has all the information. Okay, if I am the foreign minister, where are my ancestors? What were they doing? I mean, she ascended, obviously, on the political life in Germany to such a high position. That means she is pursuing this kind of grandiose positions. Do you think she's not interested in her ancestors? I don't believe that a bit. As I said, less than 1%, less than 0.0001%. That's what I give her. I think she knew, but again, it doesn't really matter. The same when Madeleine Albright discovered that she's Jewish when she was like 60-some, please. Or that I covered, what's his name, interestingly, Bill Maher. He found out he's Jewish just, I don't know, when I want to say something. Oh, there you go. I'm a Romanian. Just have to look in a mirror and I can tell you I'm not a Norwegian, am I? So let's move on. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock's grandfather was an unconditional, I'm quoting, National Socialist, end quote, who had read Mein Kampf. Many people read it. I did. So does it make you a Nazi? No, you just want to know what the hell someone said, not what other people said about what that guy might have written. Yeah, that's an information. So knowledge. Fuck off. I'm a free person who had read Mein Kampf and fully stood with the Nazi regime, according to documents seen by the tabloid Bild. Baerbock has spoken publicly about her grandfather's wartime experiences, so she knew, telling an audience in 2022 that Waldemar Baerbock returned to Germany from the East in early 1945 as a defeated soldier. So he fought the Soviets. Now it makes sense. So if he came from the East, that means from Soviet Union, defeated soldier. So she might have personal animosity towards the Soviets. And who blames her? When the Soviets came over, they gave a lot of love, unfortunately, to the German women. That was a crime. And they were also instigated by their commissars. You know who the commissars were? People that right now are defended as being the eternal victims. What Baerbock did not mention was that her grandfather was an officer in the Wehrmacht. I mean, if he came as a soldier, and had been awarded one of the Third Reich's highest military honors, the War Merit Cross with Swords, in 1944. Bild reported on Thursday. The cross was bestowed on soldiers for, and I'm quoting, special services when deployed under enemy weapons or for special services in military warfare. That means he was a capable warrior. Now, he was the enemy of the Soviets, but as I said many times, Courage is not owned by a country or by a nation or by a people. Courage just is there in the abstract. As I said many times, as Plato's philosophy of how do you call it? Forms. They're over there. We just employ them. So the courage is out there. We just give the flavor. If I am courageous, I give courage, which is over there in the abstract and absolute, the flavor of courage. The same you or her grandfather or whomever. I mean, don't forget that bad dude Adolf was awarded Iron Cross, first class and second class in the First World War. For what? Not for jerking off or being 6,000 miles away from the front. I mean, he did something. He was the enemy, yes, but that's courage is out there. It's not owned by him, by me, by you, by your mom, by your dad. It just is. So according to the newspaper, Waldemar Baerbock's military records describe him as an, and I'm quoting, unconditional National Socialist who had read Adolf Hitler's book Mein Kampf and whose character was completely rooted in National Socialism. Okay, those were his beliefs. It doesn't mean that Baerbock has the same beliefs. Unless we follow some kind of religion that has collective punishment very, very much, and the punishment of a family to the 7th generation. Well, we are not like that. We're not Judeo-Christians. We are Romans. We are Greeks. I'm talking about ancients, not what we have right now. That's what we are. But hey, if you want to be, say, the Judeo-Christian, yeah, you can be Judeo-Christian how much you want. And then go and bulldoze someone's house because someone in that house committed a crime. Go and do it. Judeo-Christian values for you. Don't believe me? Why don't you read that little scripture? The good book don't lie. German Federal Archives note that military records from the time almost always describe officers with phrases like stands firmly on the basis of the National Socialist worldview, and quote, and praise, what the hell I'm doing here, their impeccable National Socialist attitude, end quote. According to Bild, Waldemar Baerbock told his family in late 1900s that he had served in the Wehrmacht before he died in 2016. He wrote down his war memoirs in a notebook, which he passed to his family. Baerbock mentioned her grandfather in her 2021 autobiography, but did not state whether his notebook contained any references to his supposed Nazi ideology. This is the 3rd generation. Come on. Wow, you got 4 more now? Because during a 2022 speech marking the 80th anniversary of the Wannsee Conference, Wannsee, where Nazi officials formulated and planned the so-called final solutions for Europe Jews, Baerbock declared that even low-level government functionaries of the Third Reich were responsible for, and I'm quoting, the crimes and genocide of the Nazi regime. She's an imbecile, that. I mean, I told you she's an imbecile. So it said even the low-level government functionaries were responsible for crimes. Did you commit a crime? No, fuck off. Oh, you supported it? Well, that means the Americans are also war criminals. The ones that were alive in 1945. Why? Because they supported the drop of 2 atomic bombs, which is a war crime, onto civilian cities. We go by that? Again, if we take like that, well, Bill Clinton is a war criminal because he illegally attacked Yugoslavia and bombarded. That means all the Americans who voted for Bill Clinton were supporting Clinton's... No, that's idiotic. Anyway, so here it is, my friends. It doesn't really matter what your ancestors were. If you were directly implicated in that, that's a different story. Annalena Baerbock could be, and I think she is. This is how it works with the politicians. Sometimes certain politicians are allowed to ascend to a certain position because they could be easily controlled by, hey, we know that. You think we don't? Now, go and say that. Yeah, go and do that. They don't even have to say it like that. I mean, they don't know. They're just going to go like in a very smarter way, you know. The good book teaches us how to do it, or teaches them how to do it. Let's put it nicer. Yeah, these are smarter than just go and tell. It's not, they don't do like that. They, psh, psh, psh. This is a subject and they reach it like that. Punk. So you don't know how it got over there from where. I never said they're stupid. They're smart. So here I have Annalena with her little big secret that she should not give a fuck about. But the fact that you're hiding it, that means you're scared of what? That you will be destroyed by a society that is controlled by other forces and keeping you down because of what someone else did 2 generations before you. Really? Yeah. So that's the level of terror, I would say, mental terror in Germany. Oh, my grandfather, remember what's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. His father was again enrolled in the German army. He was a Nazi. And does it mean that he is responsible for anything? No, he's not. 100% not. Unless Arnold did something. So here is my friend Annalena Baerbock. That doesn't change anything. It just confirms that she's a weasel and she's scared, and probably, possibly, justifies in my brain certain statements that she made towards the Russians. Soviet Union, Germany, 1945, 44. Annalena Baerbock and her grandfather, who was. But he survived until what? The 1990s, all right, and 2000 something, 2007. What was that? He died in 2016, so he had a very long life. So don't you think 2016? So that is what, 8 years ago. So do you think? So Annalena Baerbock, she's like 45 or something. So she was about 38 in politics at that time. Do you think she never spoke with him? Hey, Valdemar, let me ask you a frage. Let me ask you a question. No? Do you think she never spoke with? And he never said it. Please. That doesn't really matter. She's not but I think she has something in her heart against the Russians, I would say. And for the other guys, and for Zelensky Stein, maybe she has a guilt complex that was instilled in her since her childhood in that great country of Deutschland, über. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Can't even sing now Haydn's song.